Okay guys, so I'm starting off with this Smashbox primerizer and I'm going to place that all over my face. This stuff has been so good because my skin has actually been very dry lately, so I've been using it quite a bit. Next I'm going in with the MAC pore stick and I'm using that just in the areas where I need help with those pores. And also I use it a little bit on my laugh lines and in my the center of my brows. And I'm just pressing it in. Next, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution concealer. I'm using that as a primer today for my eyes. And I'm just using a little pencil brush from Real Techniques. So now I'm going in with this new Urban Decay Born to Run palette. And I'm actually going in with the color Riff in my crease. This palette was a disaster for me. I had already done one video or one look for this video and I actually had to take it all off because it looked really bad. So I did have a lot of trouble trying to blend these colors together. This was my second time using it, but it was just really hard to use, guys. And spending $49 for a palette that's really hard for me to use and that doesn't blend well, I just felt like I needed to take it back to the store, so I did. But anyways, I'm going in with the next shade, and it's called Driftt. So the first one was Riff. This one is called Driftt, and it's kind of like a smoky gray, kind of a metallic type of shade. But here I'm going in just on my lid, and I had to go in several times. It just took quite a long time to build that color up for me. And then it was hard for me to blend the edges out. So I ended up going in with the color Good Is Gone, and I used that just on the outer corner and also in the crease to kind of blend out that area so that it could look a little bit more put together. Anyway, I like the way this look came out. But just take note that if you do buy this palette, it is a palette that you actually have to really work with. So, yeah, I just felt like it was just a little bit harder for me to blend all those colors together. So I'm showing you a few clips where I'm just really trying to place some of that dark brown color in the crease so that I can mix everything together. And then I'm taking a large fluffy brush, and this is just a Morphe fluffy brush, to actually blend those edges out and make it look a little bit softer. So these shadows did have quite a bit of fallout, so what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a makeup wipe and cleaning those areas up. So now I'm going in with the Rimmel Lasting Finish 24-Hour Breathable Longwear Foundation. This color was the color Noisette, and this foundation is supposed to last for 25 hours, and it's supposed to moisturize your skin for 25 hours. It is a lightweight foundation. It is supposed to be medium buildable coverage, but it really did not build up the way I wanted it to. This is the first layer that I'm putting on my skin, and it was really hard to blend out. I found it difficult to use the sponge and blend it out. It felt like it dried really quickly, so that kind of prevented me from spreading it around. But here you see it's just a very light coverage type of foundation. I will go in again with a second layer because I wanted to get at least the medium coverage. And here I am putting the second layer on. But you'll see here in a bit, once I start blending it out, it just does not look like it's even medium at the second layer. So this foundation I did wear for about 7 hours, and it did last throughout the day. I did get a tiny bit oily, but not too bad. But it is, like I said, a lightweight foundation, and it's a very light coverage foundation. I would not say that it's medium coverage. So if you're looking for a foundation that lasts at least 7 hours and that is very lightweight and doesn't have a lot of coverage, then this is going to be the one for you. I'm shaking up the bottle because I'm thinking I don't have the product really well blended. So I went ahead and did a third layer in those areas where I felt like I need a little more coverage, which pretty much was everywhere. But I went ahead and did that, and then I went ahead back in with the Morphe sponge to spread all, or actually not spread, but blend that all into my skin. Here I'm putting that Tatcha Luminous under eye treatment, and I really like this stuff, and I'm just using this brush that I got from Whole Foods. It's just a concealer brush. So now I'm going to be putting on my new favorite concealer by Too Faced. It's the Born This Way concealer. Guys, I really love this concealer. It's so hydrating under the under eyes, and it has just the right amount of coverage. I mean, it's really good. It didn't make my under eyes crease, and here it's going to look really light, and that's because I picked a foundation that was way too dark for my skin tone. But in the end, it all works out. I kind of, fixed that with some powder and stuff. But either way, going back to the concealer, I love this concealer. It's like the best concealer ever. And it really, honestly, is comparable to the Tarte concealer, but I would say it's just a little bit better. So anyway, here's the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in tan, and I use that just to add more coverage where I feel like I need it, especially with this foundation. So now I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal Brow Stylist Boost and Set Brow Mascara in Dark Brunette. This stuff did not work well on me at all. It got really, gosh, what is the word? It got really like flaky. So it started to flake off throughout the day. Once it sets, you can't touch it, or I mean, even if you look at it close up, you'll see that it kind of flakes. It looks like really hard, like your eyebrows have like hairspray on them. That's what it looks like. But yeah, I didn't really care for it. I didn't like it. It was hard to use. I'm just showing you a few clips here of me using a spoolie to kind of spread it out. And this took me a long time to do, so it just did not work. I'm going to go ahead and set that concealer that I have with the Makeup Revolution setting powder and banana. And then I'm using what I call my favorite powder, and it's the Hourglass setting powder. I love this stuff. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. Now I'm actually going into the Morphe Celebutante. It's the bronzer, and I'm using a Sonia Kashuk stippling brush. It's a large stippling brush to place that on my face. I have two Infallible Longwear blush shaping sticks, and I have it in Sexy Flush and Cheeky Dimension. For this video, I used Sexy Flush. Just place that all over my cheek. Unfortunately, it wasn't as pigmented as I wanted it to be, but now I'm going in with this beautiful highlighter by Ofra called Beverly Hills. This is gorgeous. I've heard so many things about this in the YouTube world back in the day that I finally found it at Ulta, and I love it. It's just so beautiful. It's just got this really beautiful pearl sheen to it that kind of has a hint of pink. So now I'm going back in with that Urban Decay palette, and I'm using that silver shade underneath right there on my lash line, and I'm also going in with the transition shade that I used. I'm using the matte Giga Black Lash for my bottom lashes. So now I'm going in with this Milani setting powder in the color Radiant. It is one of the most beautiful radiant setting powders I have seen from the drugstore. It's gorgeous. And I would actually compare it to my Lancôme setting powder. I'll list that down below so you guys know what I'm talking about. So this next product that I'm going to talk about is the Hypnotic Lights Eye Topper, and I'm using the color Beaming Light. I actually bought all 4 of these toppers at CVS. Guys, these are so beautiful. I think that these are easier to use than the Stila ones. Now, you do have to wait till they dry. You'll see here in a bit where I'm actually, fanning myself to make sure that these dry on top of the lid. But unlike the Stila ones kind of like, they'll get the glitter on your face. These won't. They just look so beautiful on the eyelid. Now I'm going in with that gray shadow from the Urban Decay palette, and I'm actually going into my crease to kind of just put everything together, make it look really nice. So I'm going in with this lip pencil from ColourPop called Beeper, and I'm lining my lips. Next, I'm going to actually go in with a Dose of Colors lipstick in Parfait. It's kind of like this pinkish color, really pretty. And then I'm going to top it off with the Milani Lip Plumper in Bare Pink. Now I'm using the Glow Setter setting spray and putting that all over my face, letting it dry. So this is the finished look. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.